It's really great to have you here. I think today we're going to talk about customer loyalty, which is, kind of like a concept that's kind of evolved beyond, let's say punch cards and like loyalty points and stuff like that. I think we're kind of in a place right now where customers can really switch brands with just like a tap of an app. So
Hmm.
I think loyalty is important, but it's not just about rewards anymore, right? It's like you were on a webinar, we talked about trust, we talked about emotion, the experiences that make people keep coming back, which is fantastic. And the webinar that we had with you was during Strategy Week a couple weeks ago. And I'll put it in the show notes of the podcast, but we have the YouTube link of that as well if anybody wants to watch it after listening to this episode. But I thought maybe we'd start here where we kind of talk about loyalty and the idea that customers have to be exclusively loyal to one brand. Would you say, is that really accurate?
Well, it depends on what their goals are. So if they are exclusive to one brand, they're going to be earning that much faster and reap the rewards that much faster. So it depends on what a customer really wants out of a loyalty program. There are some customers that they are brand loyal. There are some customers that are points or currency loyal. So
Mm.
it is accumulating points and redeeming for a big trip their goal, then they're going to be loyal to whatever business or businesses are rewarding with that one currency. Or is it that they are loyal because they like the brand? They want to be seen wearing the brand, whatever the reason. Loyalty can be quite flexible these days, and so when we are talking about loyalty, customers their reasons for being loyal and are differ depending on their demographic or their rationale behind how much they want that brand or like that brand, or rather it's something that they just have to buy. So it's totally determined in the moment, to be honest.
I, I know we've had a few conversations about this, Kate, and I love your opinion on all this. There's loyalty, like I think historically what we've seen or what we thought of is that customers are going to be exclusive. And then brands themselves go, okay, well, we need more customers like that. And also, by the way, we have this loyalty program, which shows that we have this repeat purchase behavior.
Hmm.
But what we don't see oftentimes is the forest through the tree. And so that same customer that looks really loyal to us might actually have loyalty programs across the board, and like say grocery that might be involved in all of those loyalty
Yeah.
programs.
Yeah.
Or I was just thinking in my closet, I have a whole bunch of different clothes from a whole different bunch of different brands. My closet is not full of one uh, brand. So, like, even though from a company perspective, we look at the customer as being exclusively loyal, it's often because it's just the data that we have.
Hmm.
And just wonder if you could comment on that. Like, is that like there's I think a mismatch in a way of what we see and what we believe to be true versus what actually is true.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where the data comes into play, that you really are restricted to what you can see. And you have blinders on to everything else, and in where customers may be loyal to other brands. So years ago, Canadians used to have about four loyalty currencies or punch cards in their wallet. And now that's creeping up significantly, especially because the traditional loyalty coalition programs in Canada have evolved and really moved away from a traditional third party loyalty currency or loyalty program, like what Air Miles rewards program used to be, or like what the More Rewards program is moving towards. A lot of the major programs have actually shifted in how they're interacting with the customers, and that has to do with demographic reasons. That has to do with big pillar partners pulling out of programs or building their own program. How businesses actually use the data and use a loyalty program to influence that change um, is going to be very important and even more important going forward as they collect more and more data. A lot of companies are trying to build out their own program, and that might not necessarily be the right route for them, but they think that they need to hold on to that data But a coalition loyalty program is going to give them so much more insight into who their customers are, or a really good advertising campaign and strategy is going to give them even more insight into who their customers are. But everyone is going to, no one has just Nike in their closet. Like it just doesn't work that way, right? And
Yeah.
it might be, I know, lots of people will drive, to different grocery stores because there are different products at each store that are relevant to them, and they feel like it's worth their time to drive around. And so they have 3 different loyalty programs in their wallet. How the data is used and understood is something that I think a lot of businesses miss. And that's where the money is. But if you don't reward, you don't get the data, right? So
Yeah.
you need to have a solid loyalty program that is actually working for you and motivating those customers enough that they want to have your card in their wallet. They want to drive the
Mhm.
extra kilometer to get there, and be influenced by that point system for you to get the data and really understand who the customers are and actually use that data to properly assess how you should be moving forward with your rewards program.
'Cause I kind of see there's like almost two versions of this. Like there's the I have my own first party data loyalty thing,
Hmm.
but then there's the RMG version, which I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
Sure.
which is you see across the category
Yeah.
because you would
So
have multiple loyalty programs. Is that fair?
yeah. So RMG Loyalty for almost 20 years worked with the Air Miles Rewards program, where we helped them build out their SMB merchant coalition. So we brought in companies like super small up to national partners who were rewarding customers with Air Miles points, and they were part of the coalition of the rewards program. That is a third party loyalty program where customers are leveraging third party points and a third party brand to elevate their own and to motivate the consumers to do business with them. A first party is where a company built out their own loyalty program in house. They managed it in house. They probably have their own tech to do that. And the data stays in house. Now, there are other things like the liability that the company needs to hold because the points need to, and the value of the points need to be just sitting over here in an account and never to be used unless they're redeemed. So there are pros and cons to like first party and third party, but at RMG, we build merchant coalitions essentially for loyalty programs, for third party loyalty programs. Right now, we're working with the More Rewards program out in Western Canada. And so Save on Foods program, and
Got one
helping
of
to
those.
build their merchant coalition. So bringing on partners that are going to give shoppers the opportunity to earn more points whenever they shop. So RMG has also done consulting for first party loyalty programs. So when companies have been assessing and evaluating whether they should be going with a first party or wanting to evolve their existing loyalty program, we're able to come in and provide a different perspective.
Can you explain? You said this term a couple times. What merchant coalition means?
Yeah, so merchant coalition would be a group of merchants that are outside of the program.
Mhm.
So we'll take More Rewards program, and they are not owned by Jim Pattison. They are third party. So they are independent businesses that are leveraging the More Rewards currency to reward their customers. So bringing all of those merchants who are leveraging that currency together is a merchant coalition.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm picturing it now, thinking about some of the rewards programs I have and the different partnerships
Mhm.
that they maintain. What are some of the what are some of the reasons why you would integrate a specific type of loyalty program into a business strategy? Like, how do you make a decision around what to do, for lack of better
Yeah.
terms?
Well, I think it's probably based on what the goals are of the business and what the business is capable of. So, small, medium-sized businesses, it's probably smarter to go with a third-party loyalty program like a More Rewards program, or um, even a local one within their community if they have one that is strong within their BIA, because they don't have to do the heavy lift. They are really piggybacking on the benefits of a program that's already been built, whether it's through the reputation or brand association, through an already existing group of engaged or avid members. And they can literally turn on a loyalty program in a box and run with that, knowing that there's someone that's going to help catch them when they fall, or need support on how they should build out and really get the most out of their program, such as what my team does with More Rewards and with the businesses that we work with out in Western Canada. So the things that companies should look at is like, what is their goal? What are they looking to achieve in bringing on a rewards program? And it could be that they are really trying to drive engagement. They're trying to drive brand association. They're trying to drive brand awareness. Loyalty can be used in many different ways, but I think companies need to really look at their own company first: number of transactions, frequency of transaction, average spend, how big they want to grow. Are they just staying local? Are they going province wide or countrywide? There's lots of different questions that we would go through with a company to assess whether a loyalty program is actually the right direction for them, or whether a really good, solid advertising strategy is something that they should be assessing first to help grow their business and their brand awareness, and then they start rewarding. So the debate of does a loyalty program acquire more customers? Probably doesn't acquire more customers. It gets that business on the list of companies that they would assess. So let's take a roofer, for example. If I'm assessing, 3 different roofing companies, they all have in and around the same price, in and around the same product, I'm more than likely going to go with the one that has a loyalty program because I'm going to be motivated. I want something more out of the spend. So are they, on the list? Great. That's what's going to differentiate them. But they've got to advertise their brand and get things out there first, before they can actually make it on that list and make the cut to be considered by the customer. For a larger business, a loyalty program can mean different things. So if you're looking at a B2B business where they have high frequency transactions, they've got an opportunity to increase share of wallet. They are working with companies that are maybe it's a plumbing supply company. They are constantly dealing with the trades, and there's constant transactions because trades don't want to hold inventory anymore. There can be lots of different reasons as to why they should be using a program, and it might just be, I want to increase share of wallet. But we come in and really do dig deep and do a good discovery to assess why a company might want a loyalty program, and whether they are willing to put in the time and team and effort to make it successful. So my business partner uses this example, and I was chatting with someone the other day about this. If you have a gym membership, it's going to do nothing for you unless you actually go to the gym.
What?
So yeah, I know. Shocking. So that's where we really try and encourage and set the tone with our customers to make sure they understand they need to participate and work with us to get the most out of their program, or else it's just going to be a program sitting there not doing anything for them.
When it comes to that, are there pitfalls, like really common things that people just like, aside from buying the membership and then not going to the gym? Like, is there things that are common mistakes, things that loyalty programs can't do? You mentioned acquisition as an example, but misconceptions about what the value, like, I think there's so often there's people that just look for silver bullets.
Yeah.
And I don't know if loyalty is one of those things where they go, okay, this is finally going to solve all our problems. But is there things that come along with that people misinterpret around loyalty?
Yeah. And I would say it is use the membership. Like, the more you ask a loyalty program to work for you, like the more bonus offers you do and different promotions, and the more you engage with your customers and send them, reminders about the offers and what they're able to get from that, the more they actually communicate and live and breathe their loyalty program, the better it's going to do for them. And a lot of companies turn it on and they're like, great, see you later. We'll talk in, 4 months. It's not going to do anything for them. And it kills my client success team because they just want to bring value to different businesses. But unless that company is willing to, assign a team member to us to work with us to build out a program, it's really not going to do anything. Also, the data piece, and to your silver bullet point, the data can be there if they share their data with us. So unless they're able to provide that number of transactions, average spend, number of customers, margin percentage, like there's a bunch of different data points that we use to assess how a program is working for a business. Unless they're willing to provide us that information, they're just issuing a currency. We can't advise them necessarily on where they should be making tweaks and changes to find the most success. So it's really taking our team as that trusted advisor and recognizing that we have almost 25 years of loyalty program experience working with some really big brands and not only big programs, but also big companies that have found great success in leveraging loyalty programs. And acknowledging that trying different things, being a little flexible, switching it up, doing different bonus offers, you have to see what fits. And that might take 6 months to figure it out. But you have to be, ready to try and see what is going to work, not only for your brand, but also for your customers and what's going to motivate them. And that'll depend on a ton of different factors.
Yeah, it's interesting. As you were talking, I took a sip of my coffee, and it's a McDonald's coffee. Huge sponsor of the CMA. No, just kidding.
Should be.
Yeah,
They should.
But
Yeah.
but I realized that it's Monopoly season.
Yes.
And I always go to buy coffee for Monopoly. I don't eat McDonald's hamburgers or anything, so I'm not looking for anything free, but I just like playing. Would you consider this gamification style like a loyalty program? Because I only go to McDonald's during Monopoly season, I swear.
Yeah, well, I would say stand out front of a high school in the middle of the day, and the kids are standing there not talking, they're on their phones playing some kind of a game.
Yeah.
So depending on what demographic you're looking for, gamification is brilliant. It allows a customer to be entertained at the same time as being engaged with the brand. And if you're going after the younger demographic, gamification is definitely something that you should do. We're actually working with a company right now, and they offer an incredible gamification platform that plugs right into a loyalty program and allows that business to make their brand fun. So, like to your point, you're motivated to play the game because it's entertaining for you. It brings you some level of joy, right? And that in itself could be considered a loyalty program. That's a loyalty activity. You're being loyal to McDonald's because of their Monopoly game.
It just occurred to me, like, Derek, you did a great job at the opening saying, there's punch cards that we typically think of, like, buy 10, get one free kind of thing. I have that at the bakery I go to all the time. Derek had just mentioned the McDonald's one. But surely there's an evolution of loyalty and a different like perspective on it than just a punch card or something like that. So are there new things you're seeing brands doing that sort of rewrites what we perceive to be loyalty programs?
Yeah, for sure. I think the punch cards have always been great, and especially for our generation, where we grew up with Subway punch cards, and that was like be all end all, right? Yeah. So those programs created a loyal customer base that told those businesses that people could actually be motivated to reach a certain threshold and get that reward. And whether they want an extra sub sandwich or not, they're going to buy the ninth one so that they get the 10 free, for example. So the punch cards was the beginning. And then it evolved into the traditional partnership model where businesses that were owned by a program, so let's say PC Financial, PC, Optimum, Loblaws, all of their banners, that program was traditionally in-house loyalty program. And then obviously with the acquisition of Shoppers, and then with the affiliate partnership with Esso, all bringing one currency under one umbrella of the Loblaws company. So that program helped also create a really solid competition for different businesses. And their program has evolved a lot. Like you look at how their app works and how they do reminders for different offers and promotions. I wouldn't say they have it just yet, but I do believe that, how they're motivating customers is to really use their data and say, these are products that you have purchased in the past, or these are products that are similar to what you've purchased in the past. And we're going to do some kind of an incentive and promotion on it to motivate you to come back and spend more. They also have a subscription model now. So for anyone who's doing click and collect, a subscription model will pop up and say, you buy almond milk a ridiculous amount of times every week. Maybe you should be on a subscription, you get a discounted price. So they're shifting away from that traditional point model, like what Air Miles used to be, where you would go to one of the merchants within the coalition and you would earn. So you go to the grocery store, you go to Metro, and there's an opportunity for you to earn an Air Miles point for every $20 spent. Then there's motivators with bonus offers. That traditional partnership model, especially within the Air Miles program, shifted entirely and went to a card link offer. So a card link offer was more digitized. It meant that the customer had to actually link their credit card with their member card number, their collector card number in the case of Air Miles. And there was no advertising. There's no advertising in the grocery stores or the merchants that Air Miles is working with anymore. So they're not shouting it from the rooftop that they are associated with the Air Miles program. It's a card link offer. So it is more back end. It's definitely more data driven. And there's an opportunity for Air Miles to leverage that data in different ways with their partners that are leveraging the currency. So it's very much evolved. There are, you've got the Scene program, the Scene Plus program. What a brilliant business model. And I do hope that they consider evolving their program and bringing on more SMBs that are third party and allow their customers to earn at more places. More Rewards is doing a great job. They're looking to build out more of a traditional partnership model. Aeroplan, great. Their goal of their program is more bums and seats, and that's it, right? They associate with higher level brands, more reputable brands that are centered around an incredible travel experience. And so the programs have evolved away from just being a traditional partnership model and have brought in CardLink, they brought in discounting, they brought in subscription model, they've brought in gamification, and really moved away from a traditional only issuance model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned data a couple times there and how you can leverage that data to, like upsell on subscriptions and stuff like that. This might be a funny question, but like, what else can you do with that data? Like retargeting of specific products, retargeting ads, I mean.
Yeah.
What else is there that you can do with that data? Like, what's
next? I think that the first thing that a lot of companies that we've worked with find interesting within the data is actually understanding who their customers are. There are some companies that we've worked with who were targeting the wrong customer base, wrong demographic. There are businesses that may have had the customer, but then they had a major influencer that was influencing the decision of that customer. So that data helps a business to better understand who their customers are first before they start pushing them different promotions and bonus offers around specific products. It allows them to understand what products the customer's interested in for sure, but then also their frequency of spend and how often they're willing to be communicated with is also really important through the data. So a lot of businesses will not read the data properly. They won't use it properly, and not through no fault of their own. It's just they don't have the team in there or the understanding of the analytics to best understand how they can elevate their sales approach, their marketing approach by using the stories that are hidden in the data. So that data is super important to build out not only a loyalty program and strategy, but also an advertising strategy going forward.
As you're saying that, there's a really good video on that from Roger Martin on a plan is not a strategy. And so just reflecting on the data capabilities, the skill set of the people
Mhm.
and all that kind of stuff, and thinking back to what you said earlier, where it's like, I bought this thing, I bought my membership, but I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like you can't just check a box on loyalty and say, oh, we're going to get a loyalty program without resourcing that program
Yeah.
and investing in the people and the skill set and the tools and the technology to make it work. Because it's otherwise just a plan on a check that you're going to check off your list,
Yeah.
but
Launched
it
a
has
loyalty
no
program.
substance to it because you haven't invested in,
Mhm.
like, what do you do with it once you have it? Like,
Yeah.
sure, you can plug in the things and make, and hand out the punch cards, but then what?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's something that our team does brilliantly. We come in as a client success team and we help a business assess the loyalty program needs and whether it would be the right fit for them and their team and their budget and their goals for the next few years. And then we actually help them build out a loyalty program based on their business goals and help them manage it, onboard, train, and day-to-day promotions. But those promotions change and shift based on what the data tells us.
Mhm.
So our team lives in the data to make sure that we're advising our partners, the businesses that we work with, on how to best use their program. And then we could come in the middle and tweak it, right? And so that they see greater success.
So yeah, it just totally changed my perspective of what you guys do, because now all of a sudden I'm thinking of you as like an agency, but on customer insights.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like we provide that level of perspective as part of how to best leverage and use a loyalty program. So that's part of what we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than it being a media channel, like, I'm gonna buy more ads on Facebook, it's more about the loyalty program and the insights and
Yeah.
what comes out of that data.
Yeah, exactly. And how to best advertise it, how to best market the message, and how to use that association with the brand of a third party loyalty program. So
Mhm.
if a company does choose to go with a third party, how can you shout from the rooftops and take full advantage of that brand association, obviously following all brand guidelines. But how do you actually like motivate um, a group of people to recognize that your business has that stamp of approval from the More Rewards program, from Pattison Food Group, whomever, that has acknowledged that this business is reputable and one that customers should do business with. So yeah, there's tons of reasons as to why a company should be leveraging a program, but like I said, unless they have the skill set or unless they have our team,
Yeah.
they very well may just be burning money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's almost like that in-house, out-of-house question. Like,
yeah.
if you are going to resource, there are different ways to resource,
Mhm.
but you do need to resource one way or the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, you definitely do. And that's an expectation that we set very clearly from the beginning because we want to bring value to businesses, number one. And that value should come in being able to motivate, whether it's new customer acquisition, whether it's brand awareness, increase in spend, increase in share of wallet, number of transactions, whatever the goal is or goals. My team wants to bring that value and show the results of a loyalty program. But there's only so many times we can knock down a door to try and encourage a business to properly leverage it. We need the business to definitely participate with us. So, and it's great because that company gets these trusted advisors, these incredibly strategic and creative people working with them who have an outside view and isn't as biased on their business as they may be. And so we
Yeah.
can come in and, have you thought about this? Or if you shift this, this might motivate, that change in behavior or that change in spend, or, how are you promoting this new product launch? And so we're able to not only help on the loyalty side of things and read the data and properly advise on what to do, but our other business, RMG Advertising, we also can help support a really solid advertising strategy using the solutions that we have available there as well. So we blend things together to make sure that a company is getting the full power of a loyalty program with a fully supported advertising strategy too.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. I'd love for you to, talk about more about RMG. what you're excited about. Is there anything coming down the pipe that you'd like to, promote?
Well, promote. We are always excited because we have a lot of companies that approach us, having seen what we were able to build with Air Miles and their
Mm,
SMB, and what we're building right now with more rewards. We have lots of different companies that are coming asking for us to work with them or evaluate the products that they're building. And so that has been really exciting in evaluating where our company is going next and what brands we're going to be working with. We are always looking at how loyalty is evolving, that maybe it's not always a points currency, but it can also be a benefits program. And those added benefits or added discounts or front of the line access could be, something that is really motivating to a guest. And so we are working with a company out of the US actually right now, and are going to be very excited to announce that shortly.
Very cool.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate, this has been awesome. Thanks for joining us and having this conversation. It's
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
there's so much in here, and like I've said earlier, there's probably 800 more things we could talk about, and hopefully
Yeah.
we're gonna have you back and chat about it some more at some point too. So, but just want to say thanks. This has been great.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Kate.